back to Enlighten Episode 2 podcast. I'm here with Hopins once again. Say hi.
Hi.
And we also have a guest, maybe reoccurring guest, Boba.
Hello?
And we will be discussing the new DCU slate. So, yeah, let's just get in, starting with Superman Legacy.
DC! Woo!
What are you guys thinking? Superman Legacy.
Superman.
I like the name, but I have a complaint of my own.
It's better than the Superman, for sure.
Superman, yeah. Oh, yeah. You're telling me about that.
Okay.
I don't want to remember that. I don't know how many times I have to edit through that.
I have a complaint about this.
Oh, yes?
I don't like how this is a young Superman who's starting out. We have a Batman
at
who
least
has
it's not
Damian.
origin. At least it's not origin. He confirmed
Okay,
it's not
okay,
origin.
yeah, but like if Batman has Damian, I want Superman to like at least be married by now. Like if he have Batman
but
Damian.
Think about it. If this is only part of the first chapter, if he's already married with kids like at the very start, like, just imagine how old he's gonna be by the end.
You don't want to jump right into
So how about this? We have Dick Grayson Batman and Superman doing the same time. Like I don't want a super old Batman with a super young Superman again.
Well, it's not Dick. It's
Yeah.
Bruce.
It's Damian. Wait,
Well,
It's Batman, bro, imagine.
Wait, okay. Wait, guys,
not
can you
deceased.
cut to... Wait, I wanna cut to Ben right now. So the Brave and the Bold, right? A lot of the people have been using Dick Grayson Batman to promote it, but everyone's saying it's Bruce Wayne. I hope it's Dick Grayson. I really hope it's Dick Grayson.
No, James himself said it was Bruce.
Oh, okay, so never mind. But he can still change his mind.
It's gonna be about him discovering. It's gonna be the animated film, right? Batman versus Robin or Son of Batman.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like that. Same based on the same comic, and also based on the Brave and the Bold TV show.
I haven't watched the Brave and the Bold TV show yet.
But like, I don't want
it's
two.
good.
I don't want two new Bruce Waynes in like the same 5-year gap. I want like Dick Grayson Batman.
Okay. Well, Hopins, if it's long term, then by the time Reeves is done, that Batman will still be going on, and he'll be popular already. So
Hopefully.
Right now, we just have to see how it goes. Honestly, like.
Yeah.
Like, do you agree with the super young Clark and the super old Batman? Like, do you like that? I like
He's
that.
not super old though, is he?
No.
Yeah,
He's gonna
Damian.
be like 30s.
Wait, Batman or Harvey's not Superman.
Clark is gonna be young, and Batman's gonna be like normal age.
Middle age or no? Okay.
Just like comic Batman. Like what age do you think he is? He's just an adult. So
like just mid-30s.
Wait,
he doesn't have to be old like Affleck.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
I hope not, but like it's still the same thing to me. I
You're
want
long enough to raise.
I mean,
Stay 5 years.
how else are they gonna do it? I'm happy they're doing it. Like, what can you say?
I'm scared they're gonna like skip out on like most of the like Robin stories. You know.
Yeah, like no
Tim
Jason,
Drake
no
and
Tim.
especially Jason.
Yeah.
Or
Red
if they
Hood.
didn't have him.
Well, I don't
I'm
think
worried
that's
about that.
necessarily the case because he said it's gonna have the whole Bat family.
Yeah, but I don't want them to like skip over like
Yeah.
Jason dying.
We'll cover all of that.
We'll get back to that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So Superman,
Yeah.
it's not an origin story, but it's about. This part I do like. It's about balancing his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing and bringing back kindness to a world that thinks kindness is old-fashioned. And this is pretty much what everyone wanted.
I like that.
I mean, like
Wait,
wanted a
hold up,
Superman.
wait.
Yeah, what?
It says he is the embodiment of truth, justice, and the American way. I
Yes.
hate the American way so much. It should be a better
good opinion.
tomorrow.
All right. Anyways.
Okay, buddy.
Anyways, let's get back. Discuss that in your own time, bro.
Happy time.
I like that. Well, it's and like I was trying to say, like in DMs, is like he's trying to remind people of what the American way should be. So not necessarily America has lost its way and he's supporting all like the corrupt stuff in America, because I think that's clearly not the case. But I think he's trying to remind people of what America should strive for.
Yeah.
But shouldn't
I
every
don't see how
country
it could be any
strive
other way.
for the same thing?
True.
Wait, shouldn't every country strive for the same thing? Goodness.
Yeah, but he's American,
Yeah.
is he not? I mean,
Yeah.
Is he not Kryptonian? So it should not be the
True.
Kryptonian way.
Well, that's what didn't Man of
that's
Steel
just
kind of do that,
stupid.
like with him being
That's
Kryptonian.
just
That was a heavy
like
part of the story.
that's like the Superman levels. Okay,
Jack,
you make
I
Man
the
of
disagree
Steel-
with
argument,
that.
bro.
Okay, wait, hold up, audience. I disagree with the Superman. I just saw it on Twitter and wanted to mention I disagree with that title. I do not like it at all. I'm glad for Superman Legacy.
Okay, there we go. Character development right there.
Superman Legacy.
Yeah, I
100%
mean,
agree.
everyone wanted him like to connect with the people, of course. Like, how about Superman that like embodies hope? Of course, Snyder's was a little
Superman.
darker. Uh,
I didn't like it.
like truth, hope, and I think it's
Yeah.
good. He's trying to bring hope back to people that think like it's
Yeah.
overrated, and I think
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
important. And I think it's actually very relevant still. And I think
Yeah.
this is a
Agreed.
good way to keep Superman relevant without making him like too like
Edgy.
Gen Z whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or meta, I guess.
mean,
Something like that.
I mean, I couldn't think of a better way to do it, honestly.
I think it's a really I agree.
I think. Do I think Lobo will be in it? That's
Probably,
a question,
probably.
Probably.
because okay, this comes out after
Well-
Aquaman 2 Blue Beetle, of course, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think it's possible. I think it's possible. Even a little teaser or like main villain, probably not. But like, do I think he'll be in the movie still? Like in some like capacity. probably.
Yeah.
I want to ask
Maybe.
something. So I don't
Yeah.
know if it was Peter or James, but one of them said that only one actor will play one role, and the other
Yeah, of
said that
course.
they'll have an Aquaman 3. So I'm kind of confused. If you're having an Aquaman 3, with only having one actor per role, then what about Momoa? Like he said that he played a different character. What's with that?
That's something I can't answer. I mean, we'll just all I can
Yeah,
say
like-
is we'll see. I mean, like, we know stuff, but we don't know everything, of course, until like we know more.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like an obvious statement, but like it's just what I have to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I was kind of worried that it would be kind of like almost like a reboot of Man of Steel,
Yeah.
like with whole like Kryptonian versus like
Yeah. I'm
human
happy
side of
that's
him.
not happening.
Yeah, I was kind of worried about that. Like, oh, like because like in the Snyderverse or whatever,
We need a confident Superman who's sure of himself. Like,
Yes.
of course,
Yes.
all-star Superman inspirations, like emotionally mature. He doesn't like, yeah.
it just doesn't make sense for him to be like, oh, I'm Kryptonian when he's like was raised
And
on
I'm
Earth
up
like
to
his entire life,
adaptations
and his
as
parents
well.
abandoned him.
Like,
You know, like,
I like adapting Superman to different mediums, and I'm not trying to like
Yes, of course.
diss other stuff, but I think it's important to keep the key values of the character that like,
Yes, of
like
course.
otherwise, who would he be? That's
Mm-hmm.
just what I think.
and I feel like recently they've been going way too far into like Dark Superman, like The Boys,
Yeah,
and like all those
exactly.
other like
Superman-
media
Evil
are kind of
Superman.
like,
Yeah.
And just
oh, he's a god
Justice
compared to us. He's scary and stuff. He has to be like, that's
Yeah,
not who
we need-
Superman
we
is,
need
you know,
some
like-
more-
and
we need
Injustice,
a more
obviously.
hopeful Superman for sure.
we've been getting too much negativity for like the supes and stuff.
Cast?
Just kinda
You guys got
crazy.
any like castings? I know.
Fan
Like,
cast.
did you Hopins? Did you see that Wolfgang Novogratz deleted his Instagram account?
Who?
You know the young actor who was like supposedly gonna play Superman, or like people were fan.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
He
deleted it?
deleted his Instagram because he was getting harassed on like about Superman. What do you think about that?
That's stupid.
It is stupid.
Snyder
It's not
Cole.
his fault,
I
Like
find it.
he's as good as a pick as anyone, but like seriously.
Yeah.
Snyder Cole bullied him off, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think maybe like early 20s, because of course if it's not
Mm-hmm.
an origin, he's Superman already. Like early 20s maybe, or like I think max 25
Yeah.
age wise. What are
I
some
have a
villains you
question.
guys would probably want to see?
Villains?
Yeah,
I don't want to see
Well-
Brainiac. Brainiac, I think, is too big.
They
Like,
did
Okay.
Lex already, right? So I feel like
Lex?
he's not like. Yeah, in the
they've
movie
done
Oh, yeah,
this
version.
BBS.
tons of times. I don't think we're gonna do Lex again.
Yeah, I don't think so.
do you guys know I forgot his name. Like, it's a purple guy, and he, like, sucks energy. I forgot his
Parasite.
name. Yeah, I think so.
Parasite, that's actually pretty good. I would like to see that. It would kind of level him a little bit, like, because of course he can suck people's powers away.
Yeah.
And the show, case in point, Superman the animated series. That's kind of exactly what happens, and like it makes the odds more even. It makes it more interesting. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
Parasite would be a good villain. Boba, you got any? I think also
Um.
another thing, Intergang. I think they screwed it up big time in Black Adam with Intergang. Like they were just like
Oh yeah.
totally they're supposed to be like this big like dark side tech like extremists basically. They're supposed to be
Yeah.
like in colleagues with dark side, and they were kind of
Oh.
just like playthings in Black Adam, which I didn't really appreciate.
Yeah, I
So
noticed that. It was
I
kinda like...
think like an updated version of Intergang with like the mech suits and stuff, plus Parasite. I think that would be a good duo.
And like, I think we just okay. I'm sorry. The old universe, like they didn't really like do anything with Darkseid, you know?
Well, it's not really the universe's
Like,
fault. It's like Snyder
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
that was a more of a Snyder thing,
But that
but
was
yeah,
like,
I do wanna see
I
some
want
dark side stuff, but that's probably gonna be
yeah.
way later on, so I don't even want to worry about
Yeah.
that
Obviously,
right
yeah.
now.
I have a question.
Always not like for a first movie, but like
Yeah,
you know
what's up,
later could do
Opens?
eventually. Yeah.
How do you want the Superman to look? Like, buff or like
Undies for sure.
shredded?
Mm-hmm.
Undies.
Oh, okay. And these, yeah, I agree. But like, do you
Oh,
want
it's fine.
like the build? Do you want it to be
Yeah.
like Tyler or like DCAU? Or, like All Star?
I'd say Brandon Routh build.
The one Returns or Kingdom Come?
Yeah, returns specifically returns. I think that's perfect because not only is it realistic, it's not muscle padding. It's not
Yeah.
muscle padding, and it looks real. And Christopher Reeves actually put in the hard work so that you could see, and he looks. It's like the most realistic looking out of the Superman. Of course, like Henry was supposed to be like overly buff, but I think if we want to have a young Superman, like he hasn't like been through a lot of
Yeah.
experience as like let's say Henry
Well,
Cavill.
like, I
He's
guess.
like much older. I'd
Mhm.
say definitely like more lean, like Superman Returns or something like that, physique wise.
What about I don't remember the comic's name, but it's like for all seasons or something.
Oh yeah, I read
Uh,
that for all seasons.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of people
Uh,
like that, cause
did James
like
Gunn read
chubby.
that? He probably did.
Yeah, he did probably. I think it's like
For
very
all
good,
seasons
cause
is
like
really good. There's so many
he look.
books he could choose from, and I'm very glad that All Star Superman is like mainly what he's pulling from and up and away and stuff.
Yeah.
Because if he's pulling from like some of the most like highly rated, like highly acclaimed Superman comics, I don't see how it could go wrong. Same with Supergirl, but we'll get to that in a bit.
Oh
You
yeah.
guys ready for
Yeah.
Authority?
Authority. Yeah.
I am.
All right. So
Interesting.
let's just read the synopsis really quick.
Yeah.
From let me restart that. From global fame to relative obscurity, Superman Legacy will directly lead into authority. Okay, so I guessed it. Remember earlier today I was saying I was telling Boba this that there's a Superman and the Authority comic where basically I guess it's gonna be mainly pulling out of that universe like where because of course. Like you guys probably don't know this, but the Authority characters originally weren't a DC property, just like Shazam and some other
Oh.
heroes, Blue Beetle, Booster
Wait.
Gold. They just acquired the rights to those characters and then added them to the DC universe. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be also like stuff like Watchmen too, but
Mm.
basically what ends up happening is that like they get revamped from like the original Authority storyline, and in that universe, Superman is the one that actually created the Authority. So it seems
Oh.
like they're gonna go that route with like the new revamped like DC Universe version.
That'd be
Of course, they're not as
interesting.
Wait.
well known, but
Wait.
if he can make Guardians of the Galaxy popular,
Yeah.
I have no doubt this is gonna be like a hit. Like,
Wait, I have a
I
question.
was just about to say that.
Isn't
Yeah,
the
what's up,
Authority
Opens?
like a morally ambiguous group?
yeah, they kill.
But why is
kill.
Superman part of it? So why is
Black
Superman
Adam.
part of it?
Um,
Superman.
that's kind of a gray area. I'll have to read more comics for that. Of course,
also raises the
I'm
question-
going to, but yeah, that's a good question, and we'll probably figure. That's probably something that's gonna be like questioned in the film. And I guess
Yeah.
we'll see. All right, more about the
Wait,
movie.
wait. Yeah, I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I don't like the Authority happening. I think it's like a second movie in the DCU, and it's like a group no one knows. And you're talking about Guardians, right? Guardians, people knew about it from like
Who?
Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon.
Earth's
And, like
Mightiest
it was
Heroes.
and it was Phase 2. It's already the second movie of the DCU, and no one knows about it. I think it's
Okay,
Well, I
well,
mean,
well,
from that
yeah.
standpoint, we can't have
If
anything
they advertise
original,
it
can
well.
we?
Yeah.
I think that's
If they
I think
advertise
that's
it well,
I
I
think
think
that's a
they'll
very neglecting standpoint because if we're
Yeah.
gonna have like the Suicide Squad movie, no one knew any of those characters. I didn't know who Peacemaker
No.
was. I didn't know who Bloodsport was. But
That
if
is
we
true.
want
That
some
is true.
originality in comic book films, I see no reason not to. At least not to just give it one movie, just one shot. And if it doesn't go well,
Yeah.
who
Like-
cares? Don't make another one.
like,
Same thing with like
the
Eternals.
second
Like
movie.
that didn't go well. Like what can you do? Like that's just how
I
I
mean-
feel. But
I mean,
yeah.
why have the Authority but not have a Wonder Woman project?
There is a Wonder Woman project.
Well, that's not for this universe.
That's a prequel before her birth.
It's a prequel. It's a prequel, but I mean, again, first, like, even just a part of the first chapter. Like, don't get too ahead of yourself. Again, most of this stuff, we're just gonna have to see how it pans out. I mean,
And
it's too early to make assumptions, in my opinion.
Yeah. And they also have like a lot of time to like edit it and like make changes and
Yeah,
stuff. You know?
exactly.
Ooh.
I mean, that one we'll get to. So it was created by Warren Ellis, Moon Knight writer. You probably don't know that. You probably do. Depends.
No.
Gunn and Safran's desire to diversify storytelling. So, like I was saying in the last podcast, more obscure characters are like lesser known characters. Bring them to light, like because there are plenty of good storylines with characters that you know nothing about that should like be on screen, like that deserve to be. Like people put in a lot of work for those. And I think it's good. I think it's a good thing that's happening. More originality in superhero movies. We already have 50 Batman movies. We already have 70 Superman movies. Why not have
All these
one
remakes and
Authority
stuff.
movie?
But what about a
Yeah.
Green Arrow? We have no Green Arrow project. Arrowverse
Yet.
doesn't count. Arrowverse is
Yet.
an OC, but we have no
Yet.
Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I mean.
Like
I
I'm saying,
want it.
it's too early to make assumptions, Opens.
Ah,
You're making like a ton of assumptions, bro. Like all your criticisms are just based off of stuff you don't know yet. So I like it. You just got to wait, bro.
ugh.
A few good men. They know
We'll see.
that you want them on the wall, or at least they believe that. So, yeah, I think it's good. It's gonna be interesting. I really like Midnighter. I want to see how the suit looks though in live action. And I'm
I have
interested
no-
to see how it
I have
goes,
no
and also
idea
how
what
it
it
connects
is.
to the and also how it connects to the rest of like the Wildstorm characters, because of course there were Wildstorm characters in Flashpoint and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Brave and the
Boba,
Bold.
what do you think?
Or Boba, yeah. Boba, authority opinions.
Yes.
Well, I don't know anything about the authorities, so it's like
Well,
I
like,
don't really
how do
know
you
what to
feel
think.
just about like just from what you know?
From what I know, I think it's I don't know. I don't know how to really describe my thoughts of it. It seems promising. You know, it seems like it might be a good way to develop Superman as a
potential.
character.
Yeah, that's true.
I was thinking like, oh, they kill, right? You can like question like who he's supporting and like what kind of like hero he's gonna be.
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
think that's
saying.
kind of
Like,
what I was.
because
Yeah,
if Superman creates a team full of like murderers,
Killers.
then that's gonna raise a question and make the story more interesting. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
That was a good question that you brought up there.
which they did
Because
terribly in
the
Black
universe-
Adam.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's good, and that will
I
also
do.
add more connectivity as well.
Yeah.
All right, Brave and the Bold.
The Brave and the Bold. We already kind of covered
Yeah.
this, but I want to add on to it. So I think it should open up with Dick Grayson Batman, but eventually Bruce Wayne comes back from like hiding or
Like resurrected
Yeah.
or something.
being missed. No, what's the word? Being missed.
Missing?
Missing, yeah, just missing. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, so I think it should start with Bruce Wayne not being in Gotham, and Dick Grayson becoming Batman, and he finds Damian, and like 2 movies later, Bruce Wayne comes back and
Ooh,
he's
2
the new.
movies.
So, like I want the Brave and the Bold and like equal to this with Batman.
Maybe it could be
And
like a
after that,
conflict between them.
yeah, we could do yeah. I
Like,
don't want
That's more fan fiction, though.
yeah,
It's more fan
true, but
fiction
like
like
territory.
Bruce not being there for so long and Dick kind of taking
Yeah,
on the
that's more of a
title and like
CW
being the new
thing.
face of Batman.
no,
Yeah,
it
that's
happened.
kind
It
of,
happened in the comics, you know.
it did happen though. Yeah, wasn't he like not obsessed with him?
They
Well,
were.
There was
yeah,
some kind of
I
like
read
conflict
them.
between
Yeah,
them.
Do you like him?
yeah, they're good. I like them, but I'm also interested to see what they're gonna do with the movie. I'm not gonna gatekeep or anything, to be honest. Like I know
Yeah,
SC Love
Yeah,
think should be Batman, but to be honest, we were gonna need a new Batman eventually, regardless. And if this is how it's gonna
yeah. So
happen, like I see no better option. Okay, one thing I will say is I'm a little apprehensive about how they're gonna handle Talia, right? Because like.
yeah.
I mean, what she did in the comics is like unforgivable, and I don't know how that would translate today to the movies without being controversial. I know it got
I
retconned and stuff, but like still,
I have an opinion. I
yeah,
think most brain dead people were like, "Oh, I wish I was Batman."
yeah, that's
Yeah,
stupid.
I think
That's not
it'll be a
okay.
joke. Yeah, I think
I
it'll be
hope
more of a
not.
joke.
I hope
I
it's
I hope not. I
something
hope
that's
not. But
consensual in the movie. And I really,
yeah,
like at least, and I think it would actually be more interesting if they had like an actual like past romantic relationships to kind of build their characters like in their narrative
yeah,
together, instead of it
yeah,
just being like some disgusting thing that I don't even want to talk about. But yeah, I
yeah,
mean, we'll see how Gunn handles it. I trust him, but like still, that's like something to be apprehensive about.
yeah.
yeah.
Damian is the new Robin, like the first Batman and Robin that we've had in years. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Yeah. Hey,
I don't
so
like it.
I I'm scared that they're like skipping over a lot of other Robin stories. You know,
Yeah.
like Tim Drake and
I'm
Jason
telling you, man,
specifically.
that's not what they're doing.
There
Really,
is. There
but
are.
Damien
We've
was like
seen, we've
introduced later.
seen. Okay, we've seen their stories before. We've seen Under the Red Hood. We've
I
seen
know,
Tim Drake.
but
I
they're
want to.
interesting. That a lot of people haven't seen them. You know, like there's a lot of
Okay,
things.
and the thing
Hey,
here is
Jack.
that he says it's gonna introduce the Bat family, and the first among
Yeah,
them is Robin, and then they're gonna just keep on introducing them.
but
So
this is
if
Damien's
you if you're
Robin, but he
if you're
comes.
if you're like disappointed that we don't have them yet, it's like apparent
No, no,
they're
no.
coming at some
No,
Okay,
point.
wait, Jack.
I'm just
I
saying
think
that Jason's death and resurrection is a very important part of Bruce's story and how
yeah.
he like
And
treats
people
his
are aware of
kids,
that.
obviously,
I
and like
mean, people know what happened to
No,
Jason.
yeah, but not like a
no.
majority of people. It's
Yeah.
like it hasn't
I'm
like
sure they'll
adapted into like a
explain it
full on movie or
eventually.
anything yet.
But I mean,
I
it's a
It's so
Bat
I don't
family
important.
movie.
I don't
But
want
it's
it.
so important to him. I don't
Yeah.
like skim over it like it didn't even happen. You know, like oh yeah,
And
I
that's
don't
not
want
what
to
I'm
be told.
saying. And that's not what
Okay,
Gunn is
wait.
saying either. In fact, I don't even
okay,
know where you got that from.
Wait, so hold up, Jack. I think what he's saying is he'll explain like the events of Under the Red Hood, but he wants to see it play out in the present and not in the past. We can grow
yeah.
with Jason. We can see how
I want to
Jason
see
Yeah,
like
that
why can't we?
yeah.
conflict. You know.
Yeah,
Because
why
like
can't we?
Damien, we can't go back to the past.
Oh yeah, well you know
Why
flashbacks. I
not?
just remembered. Yeah,
Well,
The
it's not called Batman and Robin. It's not called Batman with Robin. It's called The
yeah.
Brave and the Bold because
The Brave and
it's
Bold.
not
Yeah.
just a movie about them. It's a movie about the whole Bat family. That's what it says.
like
Yeah, so let's take parts from each.
So
okay,
if
so
Yeah,
you
okay,
if you're
true.
like we're getting the Bat family in live action, and your biggest worry is that we're not gonna get their origin stories
We're
again.
not gonna get them fly, but yeah, okay. For sure, you're right.
okay. I mean, but like, don't you find it a little weird? Like a tiny wincy bit weird. Just skipping over like about 10 years of Bruce's history.
No,
But once again, we do know him. We know,
I don't
like,
really see.
yeah,
I
I mean,
don't really
like,
think of it
Okay,
as
okay,
weird.
okay,
I
okay.
mean,
We know it.
it makes sense.
we
We've
don't.
gotten so many
Like I
Batman
said,
remakes.
yeah, like I
It's like,
said, Batman has a lot of history. The audience is smart enough to where they don't need every single detail explained to them by now. I mean, like we've grown with the movies, and people are like more knowledgeable now. But yeah, I don't think it needs to be like a full-fledged origin story.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to just finally. Honestly, even if it is Damian, I'm just happy we're getting a Batman and Robin like in some capacity. Even if it's not
Yeah,
the
but like,
Batman universe, like I'm still happy about it. That's something I want to
yeah,
see.
Yeah.
you said that we all three of us know the Batman's history, but the casuals fan don't even know that the three Robins, well, four actually. They think it's just Dick Grayson Robin. That's it. They don't
Majority
even
of
know.
And what
moviegoers
makes you
probably
think
won't.
that? Can't answer that, can you?
No, wait. What did you ask? Your mic cut out.
What makes you think that?
Like common sense. Like I don't know anyone in
Common
real life
sense? Wouldn't that be
who
the
know
antithesis to
who
common sense?
I don't know anyone who doesn't. I don't know anyone who knows about Jason Todd, Robin. No one in real
Ask them
life.
who Red Hood is.
They probably
They'll
won't
know who
know.
Red Hood is,
People
obviously.
know. People know, and
People know who Red
if
Hood
they
is,
go
yeah.
to the movie theater to watch it, they'll know anyways. So there's no
Yeah, and if they get
loss.
interested, they'll look more into the character,
Exactly.
like separately.
Like again, we don't need Wikipedia pages like mid-story to explain everything. It's
Yeah.
like that's one of the things I liked about like not to get too into MCU territory, but it's one of the things I liked about like the MCU Spider-Man. Like they didn't waste time going into like his full origin story for the 5th time, 60th time.
Yeah.
He's just Spider-Man. Like we don't
That
need
is-
all that like needless exposition that we've all seen before. And I think all that would do is weigh the
true,
movie
yeah.
down.
No, you're right, yeah.
Villains for Brave and the Bold.
Brave and Bold.
Ooh.
Who would you want
I
to
feel
see?
like Rash, right?
Okay.
I
I
feel
just-
like Raish and Talia is
Raish,
a
yeah.
definite.
Yeah, I feel like we're definitely getting that.
Okay, this might be too reminiscent of Batman Begins, but I want either the Batman 2 or the Raven the Bold to have Scarecrow.
Scarecrow.
I think Scarecrow is the best villain.
You can't do Joker.
Yeah, not Joker.
I wouldn't want a
No
Joker
way.
anyways.
Too much Joker, like.
Yeah,
I think
we
Scarecrow
got two
is
right now.
the best, like even above Joker in my opinion. Scarecrow is just top tier.
Scarecrow,
just
yeah,
love
I could see something like that happening, but let's look at the source
What about
material really
Clayface?
quick. Because the Batman, the Brave and the Bold, one thing I did notice is that it has recurring characters from the average DC universe, and if it's pulling inspiration from that, then it seems like it's gonna be more widespread than we think. Of course, Booster Gold is one of the main characters on the Brave and the Bold TV show, and so was Blue Beetle. And Plastic Man as well. There's an Aquaman. Like there's so many cameos all over the whole show. I think we're definitely gonna get one or two. I feel like Booster Gold is probably more likely than any of the rest. Since I mean, if we're getting Brave and the Bold, Batman movie, and Booster Gold, I think there's like almost a 100% chance they're gonna connect. But yeah, I mean,
hopefully.
What about the Court of Owls?
No. I think that's like a third movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. for the first movie.
If we're doing it like a DC
If it's a Batman
universe, like a widespread universe of the whole universe, I think Court of Owls wouldn't really fit. But I feel like for Pattinson, that would be perfect.
yes.
Yeah,
third
definitely.
Movie. Third movie for Pattinson. Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely gotta do it. Of course, Pattinson is all just Batman, just Batman. We got all the criteria, all the shows.
I was thinking
everything
Dick
to expand.
is involved in
there
Court of
is
Owls,
like
though,
just
right?
one
Like-
part of a big universe, so I don't think Court of Owls will really fit there.
Yeah.
I know that Dick, he was like associated with him at some point, right?
Yes. So he had an ancestor who was a Talon.
Yeah.
He was marked off to be a Talon
Who?
until something happened. I forget exactly what it was, but that was during Batman Hush. Wait, no, it was during Court of Owls. Sorry.
Who?
I just thought that hey, if it's a Bat Family one, then if they're digging into like Dick or something, like I don't know. If
I think that's unlikely.
Like, yeah, or at least a reference to it would be interesting.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, well, if this is an experienced Batman, there will probably be some Court of Owls memorabilia or something like that.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like this is probably going to be more like less of a Batman movie because we've seen plenty of those before, and more of like a Bat family and like Batman as he works with other DC characters. Because we've seen Batman work alone plenty of times, but this is
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be Batman interacting with the universe around him, and that's something the Brave and the Bold show, the animated show, did super well, and I think that could translate on the screen good too, and it could be good to show his socialization with other Justice League members in advance, you know.
Yeah, true. And like how it kind of like it's kind of different from like other superheroes and his like family, you know, like how it kind of like treats people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say, Hope?
I want to ask something.
Yeah.
I want him to look. I want him to have the trunks and the blue and gray suit with the yellow
Yeah,
oval.
for sure.
I want to see a blue and gray suit
okay,
100%.
I think if it's Brave and the Bold, they definitely have to do a blue suit. I think there's no doubt if they're
I
basing
love it
off
so
the Brave and the
much.
Bold and the Grant Morrison run as
Right.
well. They're definitely. I think there's no doubt in my mind they're doing blue suit for Brave and the Bold. Could be
Jack,
wrong.
yellow oval or black bat? Do you prefer the oval or the black?
Okay.
Maybe-
I
maybe
think if
one.
we're going with the blue suit,
Yeah.
it's yellow, and if we're
Yeah,
going with the black
yeah.
suit, it's black bat. I think that's just how it
Wha-
should work.
What about the yellow outline?
That could work too. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, whatever they, as long as it's blue, right? Like that would look
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah. You've never had a
And
blue
yeah,
Batman.
More
How stupid is
comedic
that?
Batman, more friendly Batman, just a Batman that you could see interacting with other people from the DC universe. I think that's
Yeah.
probably what we're gonna see. The dark,
I like
white
this version of Batman
stuff we
too,
can see in
with Red Bull.
Pattinson. That's what Pattinson's is for. But this is gonna be Batman. I feel like this is definitely gonna be Batman relative to the DC universe, and that's gonna be interesting. Finally, all right.
Yeah. I was worried, not like just about Batman, but like kind of like the whole thing. I was worried they're gonna kind of put too much comedy into it, like they have in like recent DC projects, like Black Adam and like Shazam and stuff. I'm worried they're gonna like keep doing that kind of thing, making it more MCU.
Okay.
You know?
To be honest, this is James Gunn though.
True.
What like
Actually-
James Gunn?
actually, no.
And we've seen
James Gunn-
we've seen a glimpse of his humor too, like
Yeah.
Wait,
obviously
Yeah.
from Guardians, but in
Jack
in
Boba.
DC the Peacemaker and stuff, and obviously
What's
Suicide
up,
Squad.
Hopkins? What
They
do you
did. They did.
gotta say?
Yeah. Sorry.
I think it comes down. I think it comes down to the director and not the writer. I think if Gunn isn't directing this, then I think the humor is up in the air. People like Taika Waititi
Well,
Batman.
I mean, Gunn still
Like-
has all say regardless. Like regardless if
Yeah.
he's directing it, he get to say do this, do that.
I mean, sure, but
It's
like I
true.
think it more so depends on the director. Like, sure
I
Gunn
don't
will
think
have a
Gunn would
say.
let that happen.
I think Gunn will like give them enough creative freedom and like won't tamper with it.
Yeah, but he won't let them ruin it, will he? I don't think that's something he would do.
But can
No,
we go
of
back
course
to can you go back to the Superman real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, so you all know that James Gunn is writing Superman, right?
Yeah.
I hope he directs it. I don't want a different director
Yeah, for
and a
sure.
different
I
writer.
think Gunn
Oh,
needs
yeah.
to direct
Yeah.
it. I can't think of
Yeah.
anyone else.
Yeah, he says he doesn't want to do it, but I hope he changes his mind and does it. 'Cause, like I don't
Yeah.
like when they have a different director and writer for like movies.
Yeah, I think writer directing is hard, but when done
Yeah.
correctly, it can be very beneficial for sure.
Hmm.
Most of the time, it's safe to have like only one director and one writer.
All right, going on from Superman, Supergirl.
Ooh,
I am very interested in this one.
I am.
Women of
This
Tomorrow.
one I think is
Yeah.
looking really good. Mainly,
Yeah.
mainly because it's based off of the Tom King comic run, and that comic was. I just call
The
it
new one, right?
comic. All right, everyone start calling Tom King comics. All right.
Comics?
Put,
Okay.
put that somewhere, but put that in your notes or screen. But
Yeah.
in this comic, it's critically acclaimed. It just came out very recently, and
Yeah,
people
recently,
are
okay.
loving it so far. I'm pretty sure. And
I've
I
heard
mean,
of it, I
if
haven't
they're
read it
doing if they're doing like this sort of like tortured Supergirl, like that,
Yeah,
that's still, like
yeah.
developing her character, I think that's a very like good place for her to go because we've
Yeah.
only seen like Sunshine and Butterflies with Supergirl so far, right? I mean, like she's just like Superman's sidekick, right? Well, like at least in a lot, like they don't say it, but you know she is. But this if she's getting a solo movie, then it's just like perfect, like just like the way that
You're kind
the
of-
story could go, it could go in so many different ways.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of potential, and we're gonna have crypto in this. So
Yeah,
I'm
Crypto,
really
that's-
Yep, that's
excited.
right.
really
Crypto the
excited for
super dog.
Yep.
And he hasn't been in any like live action
No more.
projects, right? Like,
Yes. Titans.
Jazz?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he has been in
Titans.
Titans. That is true, but he was more of a murderer in there, and I do not think they're gonna do something like that. I could be wrong, but I think it also would be cool if they adapted the suit from the comic as well, the Supergirl suit, because that one looks really
Oh.
good in my opinion. And we've mainly the Flash suit was like a little different for like the Supergirl, and of course like we've had the show. But I think that
Oh
one,
yeah,
like,
cool.
if we're getting a new DC universe, we need something like uniquely that universe. So I think the comic one,
Yeah.
that specific comic run suit would be great.
What about casting? Do you want it to be Sasha? Flash movie?
No, I don't. In my opinion,
I agree. I agree. I think that someone else should be it. I
Sasha. I think Sasha's very clearly the Supergirl connected to Henry Cavill side. And if we're getting a rebooted Superman, then and she still has like that Henry Cavill like suit, like because it's clearly based
Yeah.
off the Henry Cavill suit, then I just don't think that
Yeah.
would work. I think they need to do something like drastically different. Like otherwise, it would be
Oh
like
yeah.
Whiplash.
yeah, I think
So I think
I
Supergirl she'll have a fun little cameo in the Flash, and then we get a new one.
I think
Yeah.
this is very petty, but Jack, feel free to cut this out if you want. I want it to be blonde, like
Oh,
have long hair.
absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah, blue eyes,
absolutely.
blonde
She needs
hair.
to be
Yeah,
blonde. Uh,
yeah,
I'm not like so picky, but yeah, I agree
yeah,
that would be good. I mean, depending on how Superman
Yeah.
is, of course, because if she's gonna be his cousin, they need to have like some sort of like relativity, of course. All right, so Gunn called this Supergirl more hardcore. Of course, she's been through a lot more. It seems we're gonna see like a more brutal, like butchered side to Supergirl that we haven't seen before. Of course, we've always seen her as like this, like like all passionate, all caring. Like that's just like her character trait. She's just like, you know, a side character basically. But we're gonna see like a more brutalized side to Supergirl and more of like,
She's been through a lot.
she's like yeah more variety to her set of emotions.
mm,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
But I am interested though in how crypto connects to that, because if it's gonna be like a more
Yeah.
brutal, hardcore Supergirl, if like
Yeah.
she's like trapped in time or
I think
whatever, or like trapped in Phantom
I
Zone.
think crypto will like help her cope. With, like
Yeah,
the
probably something like that.
what about
That's
the
actually a
villain
good
or
theory.
antagonist?
Yeah.
I think it has. That's a hard question. I mean, of course, it's like in space, right? I haven't
Yeah,
read the Tom King run yet, so I'm not exactly sure who the villain is, but something to
yeah,
do with space, maybe. I feel like Zod's
yeah,
been overdone.
Yeah.
yeah.
Brainiac is a Supergirl villain, but I don't know if that would work. Maybe like
Oh,
Wait.
something else.
She has history of
wait,
Darkseid though, right?
wait. How about like
That is true.
Brainiac, but like Kang in Ant-Man? Makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, because Brainiac, there's multiple Brainiacs. From like the
Yeah.
future, the Legion of Superheroes. Like there's Brainiac 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are good ones too. So I think that's
Yeah.
definitely a possibility, or at least like a version of Brainiac. Because of course it would
Yeah.
make perfect sense. Brainiac in some versions he destroyed Krypton.
Yeah, I think Brainiac will most likely be the villain, and it won't be the main one that we see in like in a Justice League movie.
But yeah, I
Yeah,
think a
rather
version of Brainiac would be better and like more like even more of an even match for Supergirl for sure.
I think we'll have
Either
the
that or
Legion
like a
or
very
no.
early version of Brainiac that's not like as advanced yet. Because remember, there's a 15. She's like stuck there for 15 years. I'm pretty sure, or something like that.
Oh wow.
So also remember, she was born and raised on Krypton, unlike Superman, who left as soon as he was
Yeah.
a baby. She's technically older
Well,
than
a
him.
piece of Krypton.
Yeah. I mean,
Do you
we'll
guys
see. I'm
think that we'll
interested.
have the Legion or no? Legion,
I
superheroes.
feel like the Legion is a very possible thing, especially if you have like a 2 hour and a half runtime.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I think it's bound to happen eventually, or just something along the lines of like some Legion connection. Of course, Supergirl and Superman very interconnected with the Legion. If we have both of them, then I think yeah, that's definitely possible. Or we could probably even get a Legion movie. All right, Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing.
The horror movie,
Oh,
Marvel's answer, or DC's answer to Werewolf by Night.
I want to point out that Jack actually said this in the last podcast. He said that he wanted Swamp Thing.
It
And
wasn't
cut
like a
out.
fake.
Cut out.
There was a fake leak about Swamp Thing. I don't know if any of you guys saw this, but yes, there was a
I
fake
saw
leak
it,
about
yeah.
Swamp Thing. But we ended up getting it anyway. So, I mean, win-win all around. But I mean, yeah, I'm interested. Horror, like, of course, we got a Swamp Thing. We got a Swamp Thing show in what was it, 2020?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And there's a
I
Swamp
watched
Thing
it.
comic, Swamp Thing show. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting. I think it's good that they're going for the whole horror approach. He's probably going to be more like a more advanced version, of course, like King of the Swamp, because we've seen like normal Swamp Thing before, but we haven't seen like OP Swamp Thing like he is in like the comics, where he's like this like giant like swamp monster, like size of the whole forest, connected with all nature. So that's gonna be fun to see. Especially horror too. It's gonna be based off the same comic that the show was adapted from, so it's gonna be interesting
really?
to see how those things differ.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this would be like the origin for like Justice League Dark, like character for like Zatanna and
Absolutely,
Constantine.
I agree. This could be a huge
Yeah.
outlet. I mean, that's actually weird because I was thinking about something like that earlier, like Constantine showing up in Swamp Thing. It's just a thought I had. I think it would
Probably.
that would be a great outlet to introduce the
Imagine
Justice League Dark
it.
characters
Imagine
as
it's
the
Keanu
last
Reeves. Imagine it's Keanu Reeves Constantine. That'd be so good.
ones.
It got greenlit, by the way. It got greenlit. Constantine movie.
All right.
got-
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
So that's the slate, guys. We've covered everything. We've shared our thoughts. Share
Feel
share
free to
what you
disagree.
think in the comments.
Disagree with
Predictions,
me.
disagreements. Definitely
Yes.
disagree with Hopins.
Yes.
And I love Clash of Clans.
Oh